Yo, happy Friday to everyone. Friday baseball, my favorite day to bet baseball. That being said, really not the juiciest looking Friday ever, but in comparison to like a Thursday or a Monday, it's a great looking slate. Betting wise, coming off, we broke even. Well, actually, we gained plus 0.02 units last night, so green is green, I guess. But top bets went 2-0. Parlay of the day hit, and the community parlay of the day. That's becoming It's funny how we did that kind of as a joke one day, and now there's probably a bunch of viewers that come here just for the community parlay. It's hit 3 of the last 5. So yeah, we have 14 games. For some reason, the Cubs and Cardinals aren't scheduled today, and I'm guessing that's because they did it to try to fit in some makeup days if they needed it. Because I noticed there was a makeup game yesterday for
that game's in Europe, right?
Which game?
The Cubs and Cardinals.
Yeah, the one tomorrow.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Is that why they get? Because 2 days off in a row is very, very rare.
Yeah, you're traveling to Europe. They're going to give them a couple of days off. They're going to do the media over.
Toast said he has over 1.5 HRR hit run RBIs that are hammerhead locks. His words, and he said it sarcastically. So now I'm putting him on the spot, but he has them.
Well, I got him.
So yeah, 14 games to go through. Let's do it. First game, Kansas City at Tampa Bay. Royals obviously pull off the upset. Wish I had the money line. I had KC plus 2.5. It was a nice little half unit cash. I'm starting off with a 2-leg parlay. How about Tampa Bay money line, Fish money line, parlay plus 104 when I looked at it about an hour ago. Rays money line, Marlins money line plus 104. I'll go through it quickly because I went through all of my notes on the YouTube video last night, but Zach Eflin at home, he's been a beast at home this season, 7-0 with a 1.85 ERA. Royals lineup is obviously shit. It's actually 22nd in OPS, 20th in WRC plus against righties in the last 30 days. Maybe not as bad as you expected the Royals lineup to be, but when you look at their numbers on the road, they dropped to 26th across the board. So Royals don't hit righties, don't hit on the road. Yes, I'm aware they won yesterday, but still, as a whole, they don't. Zach Greinke, the magic is gone. He got real hot in May. He had an ERA down close to 2 for the entire month of May, like 5 or 6 starts. That's over because he's getting rocked in June. Prop Beaver's about to spew some bullshit to you about Zach Greinke splits on the road against righties. Don't listen. It's a bunch of horse shit. I really like the Rays. I really, really doubt the Rays are going to drop 2 games to Kansas City, plain and simple. And I'll get into why I like the Marlins when we get to that game. But I like Rays money line, Marlins money line in a parlay for plus 104.
Yeah, my thoughts
on
this game.
Hold on. I accidentally switched our order up.
Okay. No, that's cool. That's cool. Toast.
So you're batting cleanup now.
I'm used to having Bieber go second, so I apologize. Am I up second?
Yeah, we're Bieber's batting cleanup tonight.
Okay, cool. So I don't want anything to do with this Rays team right now. Understand every reason that Kyle just alluded to. Totally get that, but I just don't like the fact that the whole issue with Franco. I don't know. I just got weird vibes of it. I lean KC first 5 again. I just don't really like the spot for Tampa Bay right now. I don't know. I'm not feeling it right now. I don't want any part of it. So I didn't bet this game, but if I had to make a bet, it'd be KC first 5 or pass.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat. I would probably take the KC first 5 plus a half run to plus 120. And I would also look at the under 8 here. Main reason because of that is the fact that Rays are likely to be without Luke Raley and Wander Franco here. Raley's a really big blow. I was looking at some of the splits last night in terms of guys who are cranking righties lately for Tampa, and Luke Raley is the king of it. He is smashing right-handed pitching right now. Him being out of lineup is a really huge blow. And what it also does is it leaves a very righty-heavy lineup for Greinke to face. No Wander, no Raley, both guys who bat from the left side. And now he's going to be on the road where you would think, got to fake Greinke on the road, the guy sucks, yada, yada, yada. But on the road against righties, he's rocking a 236 WOBA, a 0.79 whip. Those are some really, really excellent marks. I think Eflin should dominate at home, but this price is just too far for me with the losses to the Rays lineup. So I'd either bet the Royals in the first 5 with a half run, or bet the under at 8 in this game.
You guys are smoking dust. Because even if I was going to bet the total, I would go to the over. The over in Tropicana,
Me too.
27-13 to the over this year in drop. That leads baseball.
Both bullpens are absolutely taxed. Every single person in the Royals organization pitched yesterday. And then for the Rays, they had 4 or 5 guys, including their top 2 arms, go 28 pitches apiece. So, yeah.
You must have misheard me. First 5 under.
Oh, okay, that's better.
You said under.
Nah, you must have misheard me. Classic miscommunication by you guys.
All right, let's move on to the next game. Braves at Reds. All right, so last night I said Atlanta. It's up to over minus 150 now.
Wait 2.5.
No, I'm not. What I'm writing down on the screen is Braves or pass, and it's a pass for me. I don't want to take Cincinnati. I know. How could you fade this team that's won 11 in a row? But I kind of call bullshit on the Reds bats. Hear me out. So you might have seen me, heard me go through these numbers last night on the YouTube video I uploaded. But so the Reds have won 11 in a row. Of course, let's give them some props. That being said, their numbers against right-handed pitching in the last 14 days, which is basically their winning streak, 15th in WRC plus, 8th in OPS, which for a team that won 11 in a row is a little underwhelming. But okay, let's not get hung up on the numbers. Here's the kicker. Want to hear the last 10 righty starters to pitch against the Reds? Ready for this? Listen to this list of aces. Jake Bird, Noah Davis, Ronel Blanco, Brandon Bielak, JP France, Jordan Lyles, Zach Greinke, Adam Wainwright, Miles Michaelis, Noah Syndergaard. Is there a single... And then add AJ Smith-Shawver. Yes, that is a solid point, what he just said. Is there a single name on that list that's a threat to you? No. I'm not trying to discredit what the Reds have done at all, but they've had a bit of an easy stretch here. They haven't seen a single... They haven't tried to hit off a good righty starter in weeks. That being said, I by no means think AJ Smith-Shawver is going to come into Cincinnati and shut the Reds down. He just struggled at home against the Rockies lineup, and we know how much they struggle away from Coors against righties. So, but then on the other side, you got Luke Weaver pitching against a Braves lineup that's first in everything. You go in the last 14 days against right-handed pitching, the Braves are first in average, first in OPS, first. Best lineup in baseball against righties right now. Luke Weaver really struggling. There's no way I can back Luke Weaver against this Braves lineup. I probably would say Atlanta or pass, maybe over or pass, but it's all the way up at 11 and a half. So that's where I stand. Not betting this game.
Yeah, there's no question for me. I'm on the Reds. Reds first 5 and Reds full game. I'm going to continue to bet it until they let me down. Do I love Luke Weaver? No, but he has a couple starts against Atlanta at home in his career. He hasn't been absolutely shelled. I mean, he went 6 2/3 in 2021, gave up 5 runs. But again, I mean, in 2019, he gave up 7 or went 7, gave up 1. Again, I don't really put in a lot of stock into that. I'm just going to continue to ride this Reds wave. And then you already know what it is, everybody. At home versus a right-handed pitcher, the hammerhead lock is Jake Fraley over 1.5 hits, runs, and RBIs at minus 125. If you haven't betted already, you're late to the party, but hurry up and get on the board.
In Toast's defense, we talk shit to him about Jake Fraley, and this always cashes against a righty. It really does.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat as Toast here, but I'm going to play it differently. I don't want to play them to win the game. I don't want to fade Atlanta right now, but I do want to fade AJ Smith-Shawver. I backed him in both of his it's Reds first 5 team total over 2.5. I backed him in both of his first 2 starts. He treated me well, but I watched both of those 2 starts, and the entire time I was shaking in my boots. The start against the Rockies, really not great. He allowed a ton of base runners. The K stuff wasn't really working until the 5th inning. So I didn't like what I saw there. And then against the Nationals, he was in a couple of tricky situations that he got completely bailed out of. So I don't really trust AJ Smith-Shawver right now. And that was at home against the Nats and the Rockies, 2 bottom 10 lineups against righties over the last 30 days. This is a much different story, and I think it's a very scary story for Mr. Smith-Shawver, because making your first road start is one thing. Making your first road start at Great American is an absolute nightmare.
That's fair. That's fair.
Reds over the last 30 days, they're tied 4th in WRC+, 3rd in WOBA, 10th in ISO against righties. We've now seen the last 10 of 16 righties to face Cincy, allow them over the total, and I think Smith-Shawver is about to join them. Sure, his ERA is at 2.45, but his FIP is at 5, his xFIP is at 4.94. And as I said, those first 2 starts were against some really, really weak competition. Another thing that I like here, I dug a little deep. The Reds have hit his pitch mix extremely well. Since De La Cruz joined the team, they're 6th in BOBA, 4th in run value, and 7th in ISO against Smith-Shawver's pitch mix. I remember when I backed Shane Baz last year at Cincy. He was red hot heading in, thought he was going to deal, got his shit cranked. Think this is the exact same spot. So I would take the Reds first 5 team total over 2.5. Or if you're feeling a bit more frisky, you could get plus 120 for under 4.5 Ks for Smith-Shawver on FanDuel. I like that as well. Reds have been striking out at a very low rate as recently.
All right, so you guys both still riding that big red machine. Before we move on to the next game, we have a dirt alert. Hold on, this is my first time bringing out a fourth person. If you don't know who Danny Dirt is, he's the overs king. Here he is, right here on the right. Danny Dirt, you have a an angle on this one. All right, 9-6 Braves is the prediction. Over from Dirt. We'll go back to him in a couple games.
Apparently the Dirt is muted. Did you have Dirt?
Oh no. That was good, too. That was funny. All right, summarize in 2 sentences. We can hear you. They couldn't. All right, let's move on to the next one. Yeah, we forgot that he's muted in the background so he doesn't interrupt us while we're talking. All right, we'll have to fix that audio for next time. Let's move on to Pirates at Marlins. All right, so you guys already know what I have in this one. I took Miami, Tampa Bay, moneyline parlay, plus 104. Put it on the screen. All right. So, you already know why I like the Rays. For Marlins, I mean, it's a fate of the Pirates, so you probably shouldn't even need the hardest sell here. Louis Ortiz is pitching on the road. You may look at his last start at Milwaukee and be like, hey, you know what? Louis Ortiz pitched a good game. No, he didn't. He only gave up 1 run, I think it was, but he didn't even make it through 5 innings. He had about 4 hits and 3 walks. It wasn't a good start. Ortiz has been a liability on the road this entire season. He's got a FIP up at 550, a 194 whip, on the road. I don't care what his ERA says. If you flirt around with a 194 whip, you're going to give up a lot of runs. That's a lot of base runners. That's 2 base runners an inning. I mean, you're going to give up runs. Now, I get it. The Marlins lineup isn't exactly threatening against right-handed pitching right now. Those numbers aren't going to blow you away, but still, anyone could score on Ortiz on the road. And like I said yesterday, the same exact thing I said yesterday, and it panned out perfectly. The Pirates bullpen is terrible, and the Marlins are bullpen killers. So even if by some miracle, Louis Ortiz is able to pitch a good game here on the road, which he won't, but by some miracle, if he's able to, the Marlins should have no problem pulverizing this Pirates bullpen. I'm not the biggest. Jesus Luzardo is on the mound. This is a guy that Prop Beaver once called a trick-ass thought. He's at home where he has much better splits. He's been much more reliable at home. I'm not the biggest Jesus Luzardo guy. That being said, at home against the Pirates should be a spot where he could deal. Pirates actually have some decent-looking numbers against lefties recently, but after they hit up Drew Smyly, the 2 lefties they saw after that, they saw Wade Miley, who blanked them, and then they saw Drew Smyly again, who blanked them. So I'm pretty confident Luzardo can pitch a good game. Definitely like the Marlins here, but obviously I don't like the price, so I'll parlay him with Tampa.
Yeah, I peeped the comments. We're gonna fix the Dirt audio issue. Normally when we send a link to somebody, they come through clearly to you guys, so we're a bit confused here. Mr. Dirt, if you could leave the thing and join back, maybe that will fix the issue for the next time you come on. Toast, go right ahead.
This is a really, really hard one for me. I'm just not in love with playing Miami at this price for me. I don't mind the money line parlay, the fact, but I actually personally at plus 175, I think all the values on Pittsburgh here. I didn't bet this game, but if I had to, gun to my head, I would take Pittsburgh on the money line for a small play at plus 175. Understand everything about Pittsburgh, but at the same time, if you look at like some of their expected numbers, I mean, like they got a couple guys like Ke'Bryan Hayes, Brian Reynolds, Andrew McCutchen, all those guys over hitting the ball pretty hard. They're not really doing anything with those hard hit balls, but sooner or later, I think they're going to get lucky. And then Henry back up in the lineup with that catcher being called up. I don't know. Maybe vibes are high. I just don't really like the spot for Miami and the price. So it's price alone for me.
Yeah, I mean, I don't bang with that trick ass thought. Jesus Luzardo definitely won't be backing his trick ass today. I think our best angle here, I'm gonna go with a hit prop. I've 2-0 my last 2 hit props, which for me is a big deal because I fucking suck at them. Give me Luis Arraez 2+ hits here. Luis Ortiz, the guy he's facing, is abysmal against lefties, and he's even more abysmal on the road against lefties. 406 OBA, 911 FIP. That's straight up nightmarish. And now if you look at Arraez's last 10 games, you may say, well, he's only 3-7 to the line. Why would I want to bet that? We'll go ahead and look at his home splits. This guy's now gone over his last 12 of 17 at home, averaging 2.1 hits per game. And his single best split is at home at night against righties because he's posting a godly 455 average in those spots, gone over his last 8 of 11. This is the crazy one. So I went and I looked at his stats against Luis Ortiz's pitch mix at home over the last 30 days. Guess what his average is? 643. He's got a 643 average against Ortiz's stuff at home over the last 30 days. The Pirates bullpen is terrible. 30th in OBA, 30th in average over the last 2 weeks. I think this is a gold mine. After going under yesterday, I love the value on it today.
Yeah, I mean, if there's any other player in Major League Baseball, if you put a prop that get 2+ hits in a game, I'd be like, that's just not smart. But this dude's crazy. What is he batting? 404?
No, the hit rate's insane. The hit rate's insane on that one too. I've been playing that play for a while. As I posted on Bieber's thing today. I love that. It's just a money maker, especially at that plus money. You don't even have to hit every single day to continue to make money every week.
And every time he loses, the price gets big.
All right, let's move on to the next one. Twins at Tigers. I'm on Detroit definitely here.
Fuck yeah.
Tigers money line. I got it at plus 115. Last night it was plus 120 when I uploaded the video. So moved a little bit towards the Tigers. All right. So obviously Joey Wentz is pitching. Not great looking numbers this year. I don't think anyone's I'm pretty sure everyone's aware of that. That being said, we just saw him pitch a great game against the Twins in Minnesota. And you might be thinking, yo, that was an outlier. There's no way he could pitch a great game against them again. Well, actually, he kind of owns this team. He's only made 21 career starts. Joey Wentz has only made 21 starts in his entire career. Somehow, 4 of those starts are against the Twins, and he has outrageous numbers against the Twins. For some reason, this dude just dominates the Twins. On his career, he's made 4 starts. His numbers, 1.23 ERA, a 150 WOBA, an 0.68 WHIP, and a 188 FIP. Those are better than Cy Young numbers. He just owns this lineup every single time. 4 career starts in the last 2 years against the Twins, all excellent. And it's not just Joey Wentz. The Twins can't hit any lefties right now. In their last 14 days, they're dead last in average, dead last in OPS, 28th in WRC+. So, yeah, do I love that the Twins are seeing him back-to-back a week apart? No, but all the numbers point to them not being able to hit him again because he's a lefty and he's owned them over the course of his career. And then just the more I look at this game, the more I like it for the Tigers. Kenta Maeda making his first start since back in April. He looked really bad to start the season, so it's not even like, oh, he was dealing before he got hurt. He really wasn't. He was off to kind of a rocky start, and now he's pitching for the first time in 2 months against a Tigers team that's starting to hit righties low-key under the radar. In the last 14 days, the Tigers are 9th in isolated power, 9th in OPS, 12th in WRC+. And then we look at the bullpen matchup, another advantage for the Tigers. Did you know that the Detroit Tigers bullpen in the last 14 days is top 10 in ERA, WOBA, WHIP, and FIP? So it just everything points to the Tigers here at home. I think this is a great price. Catching the Twins at a sell high spot. Give me the Tigers money line at the plus money.
Yeah, couldn't agree more. The only difference is I split mine up. I actually think that the Tigers team total over 3.5 is a really good look as well. Sauce talked about how well the Tigers have been hitting the last few weeks. And just to point out, their last 10 games really quickly, now that I lost my notes on that game, Tigers in the last 10 games have just been scoring runs at a crazy point. Here's their last 10 games really quickly. 9-0. Then 6-6, and then another 0, 7, 8, 5, 7, 6. That's Atlanta, Minnesota, and the Royals. Obviously, this team has no problem scoring runs right now. So Tigers team total over 3.5, and then I'm sprinkling the money line as well.
Yeah, I mean, I love backing dog shit pitchers in a sharp spot. So give me the Tigers. I don't think my boy Joey Wentz is this treacherous. We saw last year how good he could be. And yeah, I mean, pretty much everything you guys said encapsulates my thoughts on this one. The Twins, I don't give a fuck if Joey Wentz is pitching against his team for the second straight start. He should do pretty well. And then the other thing I wanted to add is that Kenta Maeda, if you look at his splits this year, you'd be like, oh, well, he's pretty good on the road. Significant drop-off in those numbers. Going back like 6 or 7 years now, I was just looking through the splits. Kenta Maeda is always worse than the road. He's pitched 2 gems on the road thus far, so I think he's due for some negative regression here, and that could come against these surprisingly hot Tigers bats. I just think at plus money, these teams are very comparable, and I think the Tigers are even playing a bit better right now, so definitely going to take the plus price with the home dogs here.
All right, we're all on the same page. Let's move on to the next one. Mets at Phillies. Okay. I am on the Metropolitans of New York. Give me the Mets money line at plus 102. All right. So, first of all, if you're going to try to sell me on the Kodai Senga home away splits, that shit's dead. Yeah, a month ago, you could rely on Kodai Senga delivering at home and choking on the road. Well, actually, his last 3 starts, he's had 2 bad starts at home and 1 excellent start on the road. So, that is complete opposite for 3 weeks. I'm considering that trend dead. Kodai Senga already pitched against the Phillies this year. Absolutely owned them. It was his best start of his career. 7 innings, 1 hit. He threw a 7-hit shutout, 1-hitter. 7-inning shutout, 1-hitter against the Phillies. They couldn't touch this dude. I mean, it's not like the Phillies have gotten hot against righties since then. Yeah, they've been winning games, but their numbers against righties, I mean, 13th in OPS, 16th in WRC+, doesn't scare anybody. The last 3 starters to pitch against the Phillies, check this out. The last 3 righty starters to pitch against the Phillies, James Caprillion, 5 1/3 innings, 1 run. Spencer Strider, 6 innings, 1 run. Bryce Elder, 7 innings, 0 runs. I'm not scared of this Phillies lineup at all. Looks like they're starting to head back towards that slump they were in about a month and a half ago. And Philly's got Taijuan Walker pitching on the mound, and this is the bright spot for Philly because he's been red hot. In his last 3 starts, he's 3-0 with an 0.45 ERA and an 0.80 WHIP. He's been good as shit, Taijuan Walker, and he's at home where he's been better for multiple years now. He's always more reliable on home. That being said, his last 3 starts, Detroit, couple weeks ago before they started hitting, an ice-cold Dodgers lineup, and Oakland. So it's weird as it sounds because the Mets aren't really scaring anybody. This Mets lineup might be his toughest competition that he's seen in a month. And then you add on the icing on the cake and my favorite stat, the Mets own the Phillies. The Mets own the Phillies. New York is 17-5 in their last 22 games against the Phillies. The Philadelphia Phillies are terrified of the Mets. I don't know. It's a mental thing. Give me the Mets money line at plus money.
Yeah, I can't really add much to that. World seems to be betting the Phillies here. I'll take the Mets at plus money. It's really that simple for me.
I wanted to find a way to get to the Phillies. I was digging, and then it just came to me. I absolutely cannot do that shit. I mean, when Kodai Senga pitched against them last time, they were quivering in their fucking boots. They couldn't even draw a walk against the guy. He's, for reference, he's had 3+ walks in every other start except against this dreadful-ass Phillies team. They just had no clue what to do with his stuff. I think even on the road where he's been worse, he could at least pitch, 5 or 6 innings of 2-run baseball, and that should be enough. Taijuan Walker, sure, he looks great lately, but when you're facing the Tigers, Dodgers, and A's, who are all slumping right now, of course you're going to look great. The Mets bats don't look like ones to trust, but I trust them 20 times more than the Phillies right now. I mean, just look at the last 4 righties they faced. They combined for 8.41 ERA, 2.2 home run per 9, and a 1.77 whip. 2 of those guys were Christian Javier and Hunter Brown at home, who were both rolling heading into that start. So that shows me a lot from those bats, shows me some fights. I think they're going to at least provide that here. And then when it comes to the Pens, this is perhaps my favorite angle for this bet. The Phils used all 4 of the top arms yesterday, while the Mets' top arms, Ottavino, Raley, Robertson, all have a day plus of rest headed in. Add in the Mets, as you said, winning the last 17-22 against the Phillies at an even price, and it's hard to pass up. I mean, I think the price of admission is valuable alone just to fade Kyle Schwarber's fucking defense. Holy shit, that guy's a nightmare.
All right, let's see if we could. We're gonna give the dirt one more try here. And I figured it out. He's got it. He has audio. I can see it now. It was my mistake.
Dirtbags? Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you.
And they can hear me. That's the important part, because I was on a little tear before. All right. So you see my face. You know one thing. We're betting it over, right? So Mets Phillies over 9.5. There's something special about this for me. And if you know anything about me, I love betting overs, but I only love one thing more, and it's the New York Mets. I think they have been slugging the ball, and I really think they're going to – they like to either have no hits against a pitcher that they used to have, or they'll crush him, and I just think Taiwan's ready to crumble. I like the Phillies to score some runs too. I think 7-5 Mets. The ball's going to be jumping out of Citizens Bank tonight. Let's go, Mets. Let's get dirty.
LGM, baby.
Let's go, Mets is right. Thank you, Dirtbag. All right, let's cruise on to the next one. So, yeah, here we are saying, like, he messed him with his mic when it was actually my fault. Whoops. All right, so let's move on to the next game. Rangers at Yankees. I like...
Oh, Lindor over 1.5 total bases plus 115.
Lindor over 1.5 total bases plus 115. Okay. All right. I'm on Texas here. I'm actually going to I actually got it at minus 110, and I like it, but I'm gonna let Prop Beaver has better notes on this game than I do, so I'm gonna let him take the mic. He was typing up a storm for this game. Well, Toast, why don't you actually let Prop Beaver go second for this one?
Yeah,
I mean, now I want to hear the spiel.
Congratulations on winning a series against the Mariners, Yankees. Your lineup is still one of the worst in baseball without Judge, and Clark Schmidt is still an absolute fucking nightmare against lefties. Hey, this is a kids program. Texas will be starting 5 tonight. I'm just not seeing it. His numbers against lefties are gross. 391 WOBA, 178 whip. The 502 FIP's not great either. He got obliterated in his last start at Texas, throwing 5 innings of 5-run, 10-hit baseball. And while I definitely think he's improved since then, I'm not going to go ahead and say Clark Schmidt is Clark Shit. I still think he's good to let up 3+ runs here. There's familiarity there. With already seeing him this year. And while the Rangers bats aren't as productive as they were earlier in the season, they're still putting up some runs. So I'd like them to get to Schmidt. On the other side, we got my boy Dane Stunning. And I'm sure there's been a bit of fall off in production over his last 4 starts. You can see that if you check the game logs. But his last start against Toronto is very encouraging to me, and I think he could bring that momentum into Yankee Stadium. Against the current Yankees bats, he's got a 182 average, 604 OPS, which are really solid. And then through 3 starts against them, he's got a 184 ERA, 0.98 whip, and a 0.5 home runs per 9. So I think he could toss a similarly great outing against these Yankee bats that I know they produced, I guess, in the first 2 games of the Mariners series, but I just don't trust them overall without Judge, especially with Rizzo and Stanton struggling like they are. When it comes to the bullpens, sure, the Yankees have a slight edge, but I just trust the Texas bats to produce against the Yanks bullpen so much more than the other way around. So at a pick 'em, I'll happily back the Rangers here. I know we were fading them in that White Sox series, but I really thought there were some excellent spots for the Sox. I don't see the same thing for the Yankees here. Definitely on the Rangers.
Yeah, I was with him until he called Dane Dunning Dane Stunning. I think I'm done at that point. Dane's
You're going to be stunned after he fucking hits the mound tonight. 7 innings and no run ball.
Dane's stunning. All right, go ahead, Toast.
Yeah, I lean Texas. I haven't bet it. The line threw me off. It doesn't make any sense to me. Everybody's betting Texas. It should be free. I mean, Seager's been an absolute animal. His total bases at 1.5 at plus money. It's just something doesn't.
Well, keep in mind, as far as the line, if you're looking at the line movement, that this game, when it opened up, Severino was supposed to be pitching. That's why it moved like 40 cents, because there was a pitching change. At least in my opinion, that's why.
No, I wasn't even talking about the move. When I made this game, when I had this game written out, I had Texas with Dunning and Schmidt on the line. I had Texas like minus 120, 130-ish. So to see it like that, I don't know. It just threw me off a little bit. I would lean Texas. I mean, the Yankees are just absolutely terrible, but yeah, I don't know. I had to pass.
All right, and this is the Dirt's third pick. He has 3 overs tonight, and this is the third one. So let's bring the Dirt man back up with his mic this time. Hold on one sec. I'm glad I figured this out because during football season, I plan on having rotating guests, like a guest for each game and shit for the live. What's up, Dirt? You're back.
Yo, good. What's up, Dirtbags? So yeah, you see my face, you know what we're doing. Over, slam it, over 8.5. Clark Schmidt has had a couple great starts, but we were riding him early in the season. Lefties rock him, 908 OPS. You got Seager, you got some switch hitters. Did you know Leody Taveras has an 833 OPS and 8 homers? Like, these guys are going to score. Big dogs got to eat. And the Yankees were downright embarrassed yesterday. So I like them to come back and score some runs. Your boy, Dwayne Stunning, I got another name for him, Dwayne Dirt, maybe Dirty Dwayne, whatever you want to call him. Bottom 6 in the league in strikeouts, and the Yankees strike out in the 9th least times per game. There's going to be a lot of runs. Again, balls jumping out. Let's get dirty. Thank you for having me on. Follow me on Twitter at Danny_Dirt. We do daily over every day, but today's special. We made 3 because it's my first time on the sauce. Appreciate you guys. Let's get dirty.
Yeah,
I'm tailing the shit out of that.
Yeah, I'm tailing that.
Don't put a pass under my name.
I wasn't gonna tail until he called him Dwayne Dirt, and that was
just the icing on the cake.
Once you called Dane Dwayne, it was a must bet from.
And to his Taveras part, look, I have a little cheat sheet that shows like their exit velocities and stuff. He is really barreling up the baseball right now too, so could be worth him looking at a home run prop or something like that if you guys are Rangers fans. But
that's right. Let's get.
All right, let's move on to the next one. Thanks, Danny Dirt. At the end, I'll tweet out and tag all 3 of these guys. I'm sure most of you probably follow Toast and Prop Ever already, but his shit's funny. I've known him for years. He's a funny dude. He actually played college baseball at Fordham. He was and he played on my slow pitch softball team. I had to coach him up a little bit. He lost it, but he. All right. So anyway, let's move on to the next one. Mariners at Orioles, and I'm really curious what Toast is going to say. You know what, Toast? Can you go first? Because I'm nervous about mine.
Yeah, I'm on the Yankees. Oh, Jesus, the Yankees. I'm on the Mariners on the money line. It's not even a question for me.
Not even a question.
Seems like everybody I know is betting Baltimore. It's plain and simple for me. Logan Gilbert's a bet on pitcher for me. I understand what his record is. I understand he has some couple bad starts against the Angels and the Yankees, but the fact of the matter is he's a bet on pitcher for me. Seattle got out of their own way yesterday with some homers. I really like the spot for them. I just don't really love Baltimore at this price coming home from a road trip. I understand they had the day off, yada, 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 but I'll take my chances with Seattle.
Do you want to go?
I don't have anything for this game. I'm passing. Logan Gilbert, every time I back this guy, he screws me. Every time I fade him, he screws me. I'm just not good with reading Logan Gilbert. I'm terrible at it. So I'm going to pass here.
I mean, I gave out Baltimore last night, and I'm sticking to my guns. I'm going to bet him, but I'm pretty confident with the way I go through my process and stuff. And there's not many times I can be talked off. But this is one of the games where, like, I knew if Toast was pretty strong in Seattle, I could be swayed a bit. I'm sticking to my guns because he wasn't selling it that hard. He was kind of just like, oh, I'm betting him. Everyone's betting Baltimore. So I'm sticking to my guns here at Baltimore at minus 115. And there's I could go through Logan Gilbert's numbers. He's had a few rocky starts in a row, but he's pitched in a couple tough spots. I can go through Kyle Gibson's numbers, but he's pitched in a couple easy spots recently. But for me, I'm a believer in the Baltimore bats. I think they're back. In the last 14 days, they're second in OPS, second in WRC plus versus righties. So this is just, we lost Toast. This is just a simple, he hated my pick. I'm out. This is just a simple, I'm riding the Baltimore bats. This is not one of the bets that I'm going to kick the door down to get you to tail, though. If you like what Toast said about Seattle, I welcome you to tell him. Let's move on to the next one. Hopefully Toast returns. A's at Toronto. Ooh, a real heater here. So I went back and forth. This is one of the ones I passed last night. And there's actually like a little bit of an angle I like here, and this didn't make the ticket, but I decided to go first 5 under 4.5. I might just throw a few dollars on it. It's not one of my favorite bets or anything. You can get it at plus 100 too. So Chris Bassett at home, I shouldn't need to give you any numbers on that. If you haven't figured that out, that Chris Bassett is a bet on picture at home, then you haven't been betting baseball that long, because this is dating back multiple seasons. Back to his years with the Mets, he was more reliable at home. Chris Bassett at home this year has been dominant in Toronto. So at home pitching against the Oakland lineup, I think it's very possible that Oakland has 0 runs through the first 5 innings, maybe 1. Let's chalk them up for 1. I think Oakland will have 1 run after 5 innings, which means all we need to do is rely on James Kapp to hold the Toronto bats to 3 or less in the first 5, and I think he could do it, not just because James Kapp's been pitching well, but also, the Blue Jays bats have been producing more on the road than at home. If you look at they hit in their last home series, but the 2 or 3 home series before that, they weren't really hitting. This is their first home game in 9. They're just returning from a 9-game road trip. So they're just now getting back in Toronto. I can see them being a little slow to start. And if like I said, if Bassett's going to hold the Oakland A's to 1 or 0, which I think he will, I think this cashes. So first 5 under 4.5. Proppy, why don't you go ahead? We'll see what's up with Toast.
Well, Toast is here. You just need to add him back to the stream.
Oh. All right. Yeah, I was on a heater there.
I was trying to find a James Kapp stat, hoping that you would be still chugging along there. Yeah. Honestly, I had full intention of just saying pass on this game, too big a price, yada, yada, yada. But I actually kind of like Kyle's angle here. Caprillion hasn't been nearly as bad since May. 3.91 ERA, 2.93 WOBA against righties with a 3.4 FIP. I mean, those are impressive numbers. And the last time we saw these Blue Jay bats, he pitched 6 innings of 1-run baseball. The current lineup through it's a small sample size of 21 at bats. They got a 143 average off of him with a 566 OPS. Going back a few years now, Caprillion, maybe not this year, but in the past has been a better pitcher on the road, which is shocking considering his home park is Oakland, the best pitcher park. So I think he has success here. The Toronto bats not scare me lately. I don't give a damn what the ranks are in WRC plus, OPS. You check the game logs. This team isn't scoring many runs whatsoever. They're not doing against high-level pitchers. They're not doing against low-level pitchers. And on top of that, they're a big favorite. I always like fading these Jays as big favorites. I feel like they never, I don't even know how to word it. They never basically offer value at home as a big favor is what I feel. Those bats always fail to show up. So I like that first 5 under at plus 100.
Yeah, Beaver just said it all for me. Oakland first 5 on the money line at plus 205. If you want to be safe better or whatever, you can take them plus 1 at plus 104 if you really want them. I don't take runs. Look, Caprillion on the road, solid bet. I really like that. We get Toronto in a spot that I love to fade after a big, long road trip. Beaver talked about how he doesn't like them as a favorite or a huge favorite. I'm in that same boat, especially coming home. I mean, keep in mind, they went from Baltimore to Miami and then, Baltimore to Texas to Miami. Now they're back at home. I understand that they had a day off, but it's still a sleepy spot. Bassett against his old team. Maybe he has a little bit of soft spot for him. I mean, I'm just making that up at this point, but I truly do believe that at plus 200 for a half a unit, it is well worth a play for me. So I did play Oakland first 5 on the money line.
He certainly didn't have a soft spot for the Mets when he saw him earlier this year. My fucking Christ.
Yeah, it's a game of his life in Citi Field.
But I think that was due to his daughter being born. I'm going to chalk that one up to his daughter, and we'll see where we're at after this one, okay?
Well, he's buying a dog tomorrow, so this is his dog legacy game.
His dog legacy game. He's getting a brand new puppy tomorrow. Great Dane. Got to back him. All right, so next game.
I hope you guys all know that was like a joke.
Yeah.
Because I can see the comments.
I assumed it was a joke from Prop Beaver, but like part of me was like, maybe he is getting a dog. I don't know. and Prop Beaver goes into the depths of Twitter sometimes with shit like that. So I was like, you know what? I put it up as like 80% joke. Anyway, so Milwaukee at Cleveland. Guardians. Give me Cleveland. I don't want to steal Prop Beaver's thunder because he did the notes for this game, but I agree with every single one of them wholeheartedly. He nailed it. I literally just copied and pasted his notes because he nailed it. So everything he's saying, I completely back. Cleveland money line, definitely. The line movement's a little scary. It was up at minus 150, dropped 15 cents. But the books have been getting roasted with some of their line movements recently. These square-ass movements have been hitting. If you rewind the last 5 or 6 days, they've been hitting a lot. See the Cubs-Pirates series for reference. What the hell was going on in that?
Good God.
Yeah, what was that? I'm definitely on Cleveland. Toast, I don't know if you want to let Prop Beaver go first. He did the notes for this one for me. So
yeah, go ahead, Beaver. I'm on Cleveland too. Beaver at home is a bet on pitcher for me. So Beaver, do your thing.
Yeah, I do like Wade Miley. I think he's a solid pitcher. He's had a decent year thus far. 3.28 ERA, 109 WHIP, 227 OBA. All impressive marks, but the expected numbers are just not there. His xERA is a whole point higher than his actual ERA. The FIP's up at 4.58. The xFIP's up at 5.15. I think he's been getting very lucky thus far. And while he does have great history against Rosario, Naylor, Bell, and Ramirez, this Guardians team is just hot against lefties right now. They're sitting 4th in WRC+, 5th in WOBA, and 3rd in average against lefties over the last 30 days. They haven't exactly sparked some of the starters they faced. I feel like a lot of their recent ranks are coming from that horrendous Ryan Weather start, but they still are a lineup I respect in general, and I think they could get a few runs off from Mr. Miley here. On the other side is Shane Bieber, and as Toast was saying, I'm not the biggest Shane Bieber guy, but at home, Bieber's definitely a bet on. 1.89 ERA, 2.53 WOBA, a 3.14 FIP. Those are some elite numbers right there. And over the last 30 days, these Brewers bats are just pissed. To put it bluntly, put it a little nicely, they're pissed. They're dead last in WRC+, the 25th in ISO, dead last in OPX. I mean, the last 8 to face them have a 0.98 WHIP and a 2.89 ERA combined. Even Gallen, who struggles on the road badly and had struggled at Milwaukee badly in previous starts, went into Milwaukee and absolutely dominated them. When it comes to the pens, Cleveland is wiping the floor with the Brewers pen. They're top 3 in almost every single rank. Brewers in the bottom half of the league. And another thing I remember from looking at season-long stats, this Brewers pen is horrendous on the road. In the bottom 5 in nearly every rank. We saw Devin Williams, the god himself, completely crack under pressure against those Twins bats on the road. So I think our best angle is the Cleveland money line. I would like to thank the public and the Sharps for giving us a discount here. Let's go Cleveland.
Yeah, I don't know why everyone's on Milwaukee here. And what he said about the bullpens, that's the money line. That's the money maker for me, was because I could get behind, if you think Wade Miley's going to pitch well here, I can get behind it. The Cleveland numbers against left-handed pitching might be a bit skewed from that Ryan Weather start. I hear you if you want to go with that angle, but from the 6th inning on, you cannot sell me on Milwaukee in Cleveland in this matchup. I mean, the Guardians bullpen not only has been one of the best in baseball recently, over the course of the season, they're top 5 most consistent bullpen week in and week out. Against a Brewers bullpen who really relies heavily on their main 2 arms, and neither of them have been that reliable over the last 2 weeks. I mean, Devin Williams blew a couple saves. I don't like that other guy. What is it, Straminsky? What's his name? You know.
Well, there's Strzelecki, but I think Pyamps is the main setup, and Pyamps has even been sucking lately, so hard to trust that pen.
Yeah, I think the Brewers bullpen is a unit I don't trust at all. So second half of this game, this might be a perfect live bet candidate if Milwaukee happens to grab like a 2-1 lead or something early. The second half of this game, huge advantage for Cleveland. Oh, hold on. No, they can't hear you. We can. I'm putting you back in now. Yeah, so definitely Cleveland. Dirt, you're still with us in the background. If you ever if you have an angle, you just hit the buzzer, bro. I'll put you in.
Really, they only have to do, all you got to do is shut down Christian Yelich for the Brewers, and if you get him shut down, then everything else is going to be just fine.
All right, let's move on to the next one. Boston at Chicago, the Battle of the Sox. Don't love the pick. I'm on Boston at minus 115, but so is everyone else. So I don't love the pick. I'll just say Boston money line to minus 115. I like the spot for Giolito at home. I truly do. But I love Bayo. He's a beast. And I got caught trying to fade him in his last start. Maybe that was 2 starts ago. I forget which one. But even if, let's just say you want to set, even if you say you want to call this starting pitching matchup a wash, right? Let's say you're like, yo, I like Giolito. I actually think he's a little better than Bayo. I disagree, but let's say that's what you want to say. Other than that, where is the advantage for the White Sox? That bullpen has fallen apart. The bats, I mean, you can't compare them to the Red Sox bats recently. The only angle I can see for Chicago is if you think the Red Sox bats have gone cold again, which I don't know if 2 games is enough of a sample size to make that declaration. So Boston money line, but it's super square. Don't love it.
Yeah, just like Kyle, I'm Bellows a bet on pitcher for me. So I did Boston first 5 run line at plus 110. That's just how I'm going to play it. I don't want to deal with later on in the games. But yeah, I just Bello for me is a guy that I'm going to continue to back until he gives me a reason not to. It's really that simple for me.
Yeah, I mean, we just extensively watched that White Sox series against the Rangers because we bet the White Sox all 3 times because they were in golden spots all 3 times. Only cashed out in one of them, and truthfully, they shouldn't have even won that game because the catcher's interference that was ruled was absolute bullshit. This team just fucking sucks. Their bullpen is completely falling apart. Their lineup fails to produce in the best of situations. There's just no way I'm going to back this team. I tried doing it in much better spots, and they just continue to suck. Bello's a bet on pitcher. This guy looks phenomenal right now. The last 9 starts, he's got a 2.6 ERA, 281 WOBA. Everything's working for him. The Chicago bats can't hit against righties. Lucas Giolito, I will say, scares me a bit here because his best spots at home against lefties. 211 WOBA, 0.73 whip, 285 FIP. I mean, those are flat out elite numbers. But really where I think this game is won is when it gets to the bullpens. Sure, the Boston bullpen isn't nothing to brag about either. But I definitely think they're better than the White Sox. And unless they're bringing my guy in Touki Toussaint to pitch 5 innings again, I think that they lose that lead late if they have one and they lose the game late. So give me the Sox as square as it is. They keep trying to put these traps on people betting the opponents of the Sox, and the books keep losing. So
it was really nice to see Touki Toussaint back in the
No, he was
league.
dealing. He was dealing too.
He was. And then just really quickly, because I am a co-president of the Brian Bello fan club. His first start of the year against the Angels, it was that weird start. It got rained. It got started late. He gave up 5 runs. Since then, he's given up 3 runs twice. Everything else, 2 runs or less. So the dude's been absolutely dealing for a long time now. So I just wanted to give that out just so everybody knew who that kid was because he's very, very good.
All right, let's move on to the next one, which is Angels at Rockies. This is a pass for me. I'm tailing prop Eversangel, so I'll let him talk. But this one's a pass for me. What he's saying makes sense. So pass.
First 5 under 6.5 minus 120. No, it's scary. I know the run conditions are great for hitters today. But 6.5 is just way too high. This was at 7 last night on some books at minus 135. Then it moved down to 6.5 at minus 105. Now it's minus 120. Seems the books are scared of that money coming in on the under here. And I think there's a great angle for it. Rockies coming off a 10-game East Coast road trip. Not a great spot. Not a spot that I like to back people. Now they got to face a lefty, a split they've been brutal in. Over the last 30 days, they're 30th in WRC plus with a 55. God, that is putrid. 26th in OPS, and that's overall. Now let's isolate it to at home. You'd think, oh, well, at Coors, they got to be crushing the ball at the very least, right? 25th in OPS, 26th in WOBA, 29th in average against lefties over the last month. I mean, this team cannot hit lefties to save their life. And Patrick Sandoval on the road at night is a stud. This is a weird-ass split I found, similar to the Sandy at home at night split, where this guy just dominates. Through 3 starts in the split this year, he's got an 0.57 ERA, 2.57 WOBA, and is yet to allow a home run. The only possible concern is that it's his first start at Coors, but usually the Rockies have some respectable bats against lefties. In fact, the past 5 years, they've been known as lefty crushers. That is not the case this year. This lineup cannot hit lefties. I think he goes out and deals 2 or less runs from him. On the other side, we got Kyle Freeland, and I think he's undervalued because his last 3 or 4 road starts were on the road where he sucks. At home, he's got a 3.19 ERA, 0.9 home run per 9. Those are really, really impressive at Coors. And if you just take out that Pirates start, this guy would have a sub-2 ERA at Coors through 5 starts. Very, very impressive. Angels were lefty crushers to begin the year. Look at the last month or so. They're 23rd in WRC+, 21st in OPS, 23rd in WOBA. Last 6 lefties to face him have a 1.36 ERA. They're completely shutting this lineup down. So at this high-ass total, I think it's taking into account the weather, but I think it's taking into account way too much. I think we see, I don't know, maybe like a 3-2 score at the end of the first 5. So give me the first 5 under 6.5 there.
Yeah, I don't hate that. I talked to you about that earlier. Yeah, I don't like that. I don't hate that at all. I'll probably end up tailing you. 2 plays for me. One, I'm going to parlay the Angels and the Padres together. I played it for a full unit. It was plus 118 when I played it. Too many advantages for both of these teams. The Rockies are just a pure fade for me. Beaver touched on it. They're coming home from a very, very long road trip. The Angels, I understand, just got embarrassed by the Dodgers with Ohtani on the mound, but Sandoval is a guy that I really, really like. So those 2 parlay together. And then on top of that, which sounds counterintuitive, but Patrick Sandoval under 4.5 strikeouts at plus 100 or plus 105, excuse me. The hit rate of this with guys first time pitching in Coors is unbelievable. I couldn't find the exact stat, but I assure you, I'm not making that up in my head. It's almost like an 80% hit rate. So I'm going to take a small half unit chance with Patrick Sandoval under 4.5 strikeouts as well. Ever
since you introduced that to me last year, I've been picking my spots with it, and it's been very profitable. So yeah, definitely like that bet. If it was a righty, I'd like it a bit more. The Rockies right now are pathetic in terms of the plate discipline against lefties, but hey, first start at Coors, I like it. Low vig as well.
And it was, for me, it was the plus money that put me over the edge. If this was like minus 115, it would be an easy pass. But if you're going to give me plus 105, it's well worth a half a unit for me.
I like it.
All right, let's move on to the next one.
I saw you checking the weather, Kyle. Did you? Are most of
the what are you looking at the weather for?
Well, everyone was talking about games getting canceled. No games are canceled yet, but there's 2 that are, it says, likely to be delayed. Seattle at Baltimore, Mets at Phillies, but neither of them has canceled.
Yeah, I'd like to talk to. Do we have any scumbags in the comments that are in Philadelphia? Because I don't understand the weather thing.
We're pretty close to Philly. We're 40 miles from
raining?
Philly. Is it raining? Open the window. No, it's not raining. All right.
Because Ballpark Pal had the Phillies ballpark at like plus 27%. And then I got people telling me that live on the East Coast and they might not even play the game. It's just like super opposites.
I mean, it's supposed to rain here all weekend, but it's not raining right now. All right, so let's move on to Washington, San Diego. And how do you not like the Padres here? I just don't see any angles for the Nats. I'll put down San Diego minus 1.5. It's like minus 135 now, though. So I realize maybe we missed the value on it, but still, you know what probably is a good look? The Padres Angels moneyline parlay that Toast just said is probably a decent way to play this. But with trust me, if there was a way to play Patrick Corbin, if there was a way to go sharp and back him, I would find it. That's my guy.
Me too. I thought the same way.
That's my guy. It's not there. The Padres are killing lefties. Joe Musgrove's been dominant, and also he's owned the prop viewers probably going to go through those numbers. Joe Musgrove's been really good. But Patrick Corbin on the road where he's been worse against the Padres lineup that's killing lefties right now. Did you see what they did to Alex Wood yesterday? I mean, I thought they were going to be arrested for that assault. That was felonious as hell. It was 10-0 in what, like the 3rd or 4th inning? Holy shit. They truly are murdering lefties, and Patrick Corbin did for a world of hurt. This should be a blowout.
Yeah, like I said, I have that parlay. I didn't think of it until Beaver talked to me or said something about it, but Manny Machado over 1.5 total bases at plus 105 over the last 15 days has just been absolutely killing the ball. A .643 ISO power number over the last 15 days, just smoking it right now. So to add to that parlay, I would probably play Manny Machado over his total bases as well. Because Tatis is like juice to the gills.
Yeah, Tatis is juice to the gills. If you want to play Tatis as over bases today, don't mind that. If you want to play his over hits, runs, RBIs, don't mind that. If you want to play Manny Machado over total bases, also don't mind that. I'm just going to isolate it to one thing here, and that's the Padres beating the ever-loving shit out of this Nats team. So give me the Padres double result at minus 115. Patrick Corbin.
Always forget those.
Yeah, I love the double results. I love
that bet. I just always forget it.
Great juice reducer on these big favorites. Corbin started off the year. He looked like a changed man. But over his last 5 starts, I mean, geez, Maurice, he's got a 5.72 ERA, a 1.98 WHIP, and the 4.03 WOBA is really, really bad. I think honestly his numbers should be even worse with the 4.03 WOBA than a 5.72 ERA. Not only that, but this guy's putrid on the road. The 6.91 road FIP is horrendous, and the fact that his 5.4 ERA is that low shows that he's getting extremely lucky even on the road. And now we got the Padres. And while against righties, I still don't trust that lineup. Against lefties, they paid out for me big yesterday. They're second in WRC+, second in ISO, second in WOBA against lefties over the last month. On the other side, we got Joe Musgrove, and he's catching his groove. Last 5 starts, 2.15 ERA, 2.59 WOBA. He's looking excellent, and he's going to face a Nats lineup that's got a 500 OPS against him through 34 at-bats. Just one of the 7 hits he allowed went for extra bases. Nats were a better offense on the road to begin the year, but then you start to look at the last month, and it's not the case at all. Bottom 10 in WRC+, WOBA, and OPS on the road and against right-handed pitching. And then when it comes to the bullpen disparity, I mean, this is a joke. Padres top 10 in every category over the last month. Nationals bottom 5 in every category over the last month. This is the stat that I wanted to bring up here, which is the main reason why I like the run line, if you want to bet that. All 7 of the Nats losses with Corbin on the mound have failed to cover the run line, and the last 27 to 30 Padres wins have come by 2 or more, including the last 11 to 13 at home. So for the Padres run line bettors, I like that. I'm going to play it a bit more risky, bet that double result, bet on the Padres to win that first 5 comfortable.
Really quickly too, this is a dog shit spot for Washington. They keep in mind, yesterday they were supposed to have the day off to fly to the West Coast. They couldn't have the day off yesterday because they had to play Arizona to make up for the Canada Fire game that they missed. So they're really in a shit spot right here.
All right.
That's a good point, Toast. The spot is truly terrible.
You want to talk about spots? Wait till you look at this next game. Oh, no, I'm sorry. Two more.
I was going to say.
Oh, don't worry, because I'm about to be on that spot in a second.
I don't even know how I'm going to bet that. Well, actually, yes, I do. It's just
I do.
We'll get to
money line plus 150.
All right. Well, let's get to that. I wish we could skip to it because this game sucks. I guess I'm going to put Houston or pass on the screen. And literally the only reason I'm saying Houston or pass is because they're at plus money, and I think this is a true coin flip. And whenever you can get a coin flip at plus money, it's always a good bet. But I really don't have a strong lean either way. I think JP France can pitch a good game. The Dodgers haven't been hitting righties at all, as we know. JP France has great numbers on the road. He's got a 1.88 ERA on the road, 3.78 FIP. So it's all those numbers are significantly better than his numbers at home. So he's got real nice looking splits on the road. The last 6. And he also has good splits against right-handed bat. Oh, and I'm sorry. No, that's wrong pitcher. My bad. And then also, the Dodgers have scored just 7 runs in the last 4 games. Sorry, my notes aren't even organized for this game because I hate it. Here, the Dodgers' numbers against righties, they're terrible. 27th in isolated power, 23rd in OPS, blah, blah, blah. And then the other side, Emmett Sheehan. Who knows what to really think of this guy? I mean, he had an excellent first start of his career. He shut down the Giants, a red-hot Giants team. 6 shutout innings, didn't allow a single hit. Do I really trust him? No. So I don't know. Astros are pass. I don't know why I'm even rambling about this stupid-ass game.
Yeah, same thing here. I would just take the Astros at the plus price, but that's it. Sorry for skipping Toast. I didn't realize.
Oh, no, you're good. Go ahead and put up another losing bet up on the board. Dodgers minus 1.5. Are you freaking kidding me right now? I don't know what those two just blambled on about, but we get the Dodgers like on a bullpen. Off of a bullpen day, they just shut out the Angels. Emmett Sheehan only had 4 whiffs, but all of his stuff graded out really, really well metrically. His stuff plus was like over 100 in a couple of different of his pitches. That Dodgers bullpen is running high. We're getting the Dodgers at home. I really, really like the Dodgers here tonight.
I don't like how you came at us as if we missed like the play of the century. The Dodgers fucking suck right now.
Toast just capped that game as if he hasn't had internet for the last 2.5 weeks.
I don't need to cap that game. It took me about 5 minutes to cap that game.
Yeah, I mean, you realize that the Dodgers are like the worst team in baseball right now.
Yeah, you realize that's going to last forever, right? Yeah.
It's gonna last one more, just one more.
Yeah.
I'm not even gonna fight you on because I don't even like the Astros that much. But like, the way you just capped that game is if the Dodgers are still the 2022 Dodgers. They suck
Because they are. They've had a bad, like a 2-week period where they've been semi-bad or whatever. But at the same time, when you play them, they're still winning by 2. Like, it's not like I'm betting them every day like I used to. But at this spot, after not letting the Angels score 2 runs for 2 days, and now you're going to come home with this rookie kid with your bullpen as fresh as can be, riding an absolute high. Are you kidding me right now?
Yeah,
Rookie bets over 1.5 total bases at plus 102.
The Dodgers are definitely not the Dodgers from last year. But the D-backs are the kings in that division. We knew that going in, though, Toe, so we're fine.
That's true.
Let's move on to the next one. Arizona at Giants. Okay, so first let's put my pick up, which is under 8. I wanted to bet Arizona so bad. But there's something Toast is not taking into consideration here. He missed something huge.
I don't miss
No,
anything.
he missed something huge. All right, so first, the reasons I want to bet Arizona. I feel like the Giants are a bit vulnerable right now. They're just coming off 7 straight games against divisional opponents, not just divisional opponents, the Dodgers and the Padres. So 7 straight huge games for this Giants team. Got absolutely crushed 10-0 yesterday. Zach Davies is pitching. Yeah, you might be a little hesitant to back Zach Davies, but he's actually been really good in his 2 road starts. He's got like a 1.88 ERA on the road or something crazy. He's got a real nice looking numbers in his 2 road starts. He pitched a great game at Dodger Stadium, but they suck now. And he also pitched a great game at Washington. That was a shameless shot at Toast. Just ignore that.
Oh, I got it.
So, and so here come the D-backs in, right? This is why I would consider betting Arizona. Arizona hasn't played a division series since May. This is the most meaningful baseball game the Diamondbacks have played in 6 weeks. Meanwhile, the Giants are in the middle of a gauntlet of a 4-game series against the Padres, 3-game series against the Dodgers. For them, they don't have this game circled. This is the game. Arizona's been waiting for this series for 3 weeks. So you might say, so Sauce, why are we not betting Arizona then? Well, because they just played a makeup game in D.C. yesterday. The day before that, they were in Milwaukee. You ready for this? So they were in Milwaukee. I want you to picture the United States here. Here it is. They were in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Flew all the way to Washington. It's a mirror image. Flew all the way to Washington, D.C. on the East Coast. No days off. They played 1 game in D.C. So in 48 hours, they flew from Milwaukee to D.C., then all the way across the country to San Diego. They've flown like 6,000 miles in about 36 hours. No way. So I'll just take an under, even though I love the spot for Arizona. But this team, I mean, they might as well just flown around the earth for this game.
Yeah, I like the under 8 here as well. Zach Davies, not exactly a guy I'm running through a wall to back, but I feel he's a bit undervalued here. Going back his last 4 or 5 seasons, we've seen Davies consistently produce better on the road, and through a small sample size this year, he's excelled in that spot. 2.31 ERA, 2.46 WOBA, 3.10 FIP. Now, you brought up the fact that he played the Dodgers and the Nats in those starts. The Nats were actually hot at the time. They were producing against right-handed pitching. He went in there and he showed up. And on top of that, he struck out 8 batters. So that really showed a lot to me. That was an excellent start by him. And then on top of that, he faced the Dodgers when the Dodgers bats were hitting earlier in the season. And they were producing well. He went in there and shut them down. So I trust Zach Davies on the road a bit. He's going to face a Giants lineup that he's had quite a bit of success against. 211 OBA, 662 OPS through 76 plate appearances. And then through 7 trips to San Fran, he's always pretty much had success. 297 ERA, 0.8 home runs per 9. I just think that with the fact that the Giants' 11-game win streak was snapped yesterday, we're going to start to see some negative regression coming for those bats. I know that they're good, but I just see it coming. And then on the other side, we got Logan Webb, and I like the spot for him. As you said, the travel for the D-backs bats today is brutal. And while the D-backs bats are hot, they got to face Logan Webb at home, who's dominated them. His last 4 home starts against them, he's 2-1 with a 1.99 ERA. Didn't allow a single home run. Webb has better splits at home and against left-handed batters. I think he produces similarly to the 7-inning one-run performance he had at Arizona in the beginning of this season. And then what really makes me like this bet are the bullpens. Giants bullpen just continues to churn right now. They look unstoppable, and they have all their high leverage arms rested because they got the shit kicked in yesterday. Diamondbacks also have most of their high leverage arms rested. On top of that, have been a top 10 bullpen in FIP and XFIP over the last month. If you could catch us at 8.5, like you can on FanDuel at -122, definitely prefer that. But at 8 at -105 or plus money, I'll take my shot.
Okay. I'm on the Snakes at +150. It's not even a question for me. I talked about this the other day when Commiss was on the show with Boston and Minnesota, and I feel the same way now. Once that air gets let out of the balloon on one of those nice win streaks like that Boston was, I really like to bet against them at least 2 days in a row. Understand the spot for Arizona. I truly do. I don't love it, but I also think that's a little bit baked into the price. They talked about how well Davies has faced or pitched against the Giants. Logan Webb at home, obviously solid. I'm not going to say a lot about him there, but they did talk about how good that Diamondbacks bullpen is. And yes, the Dodgers or the San Francisco Giants bullpen has been fantastic, and they're probably all available today. Not going to argue that. But what I will say is Duvall's worked 3 of the last 4 days. Taylor Rogers has worked 2 of the, if you count today, 2 of the last 3. So a lot of those guys have been worked over the last week. Again, they're all going to be available, but they're not going to be at 100%. It's just way too big of a price to pass up with the Snakes, who are fantastic on the road, and they're fantastic against right-handed pitching. On the year this year, Snakes, the first is right-handed pitching, 33-19, and then just on the road in general, they're 23-12. So I'm getting in the Snakes in a spot that they're comfortable with. The bats are working pretty decent right now. I'm all over the Snakes at +150. Christian Walker, who's been killing the ball right now, over 1.5 total bases at +125. I got it as well. 4 for 12 off of Webb with a couple doubles as well. But he's been really killing the ball last 15 days. 396 batting average, 478 WOBA, 354 ISO, 42% hard hit percentage. So killing the ball. Yeah, let's go Snakes.
Any other spot, and me and Kyle are going to Pound Town with you on that Arizona.
For real, I wanted to. But dude, they only played 1 game in DC. They had to fly they had to fly across the country twice in 2 days. It's crazy.
We're talking about a team full of 22, 25-year-olds. It doesn't really bother me that much. It just really doesn't.
All right, let's talk some community parlay that's just always continues to hit.
An absolute heater, right?
Now let's talk about the part of the show that really matters, the community parlay. Something I never thought I'd say. So, Beaver, can you get the sportsbook out, please? All right, Toast. Actually, could you get out a list of games and give me 4 from the 3 or 4 early games? Give me 4 legs to put in this poll. So they go in order of the games.
Braves.
Okay.
Reds. Rays. Twins.
Rays, Reds, Rays, Twins. First leg. Oops. Let's go.
And while he's typing that, I forgot a play that I really like. Manuel Margot over 1.5 hits, runs, and RBIs -120. When he plays, he hits this. He's hit it in I think 6 or 7 games. He's batting second, which I like even more. And he's got really good history against Greinke as well. So Manuel Margot over 1.5 hits, runs, and RBIs at -120 as well.
All right. Looks like Braves is taking this first leg. Give it another few seconds. All right. If you like the Rays, I would get your vote in now because the Braves are about to lose. In 5, 4, 3. No. I meant lose the poll. I'm sorry, not lose the game. I meant like if you like the Rays, I would get it in now because the Braves. Never mind. I said it wrong.
How dare you?
Braves money line first leg. Toast. Feed me 4 more.
Let's go Mariners, Orioles, Rangers, Phillies.
Mariners, Orioles, Rangers, Phillies, second leg. Let's go.
You were fighting through those pronunciations right there.
I know. I struggled through that. Hey, sorry about the people in the comments before. I've never had to mute somebody before because people are usually pretty cool. But they were being a little crazy. And
Oh, Mr. Hitsticks with the L's?
I don't mind because he talks some shit, but sometimes it's like you can laugh at it, but like some of the stuff, it's like I can't.
He is a king troll, I will say.
I don't mind someone talking some shit. Like sometimes I look at it and chuckle. It's just when you're here to like you take it over the line. I can't. It's too much. Maybe when I was like 22 years old, but I'm in my mid 30s now. This is Rangers, but no, I have blowout Rangers.
Okay.
Next poll.
Cleveland. So Guardians, Blue Jays, Rangers. Oh, I already said Rangers. Sorry. Red Sox.
Angels.
Or we could go back to the Rays because they got second. Let's put the Rays back in.
Oh, yeah, you can do that too.
Let's give the Rays another shot. So far it's Braves, Rangers. Let me put that on the screen. Braves, money line. Rangers, money line. Wow.
Somebody put Justin Bieber has a point. That's pretty funny.
Wow, see? The Red looks like they wanted the Rays. They just like the Braves more.
Somebody asked in the comments about a hit parlay with Acuna, Arozarena, Singer, and Machado. It's hard not to like them. They've been some of the best players in baseball all year, so hard not to like them.
Let's give it 5-4. Looks like the Rays are going to win this, though. 2-1. Tampa, money line as the third leg. Beaver, where does that put us?
1 second, I was replying to something on Twitter. That puts...
It's probably not going to be the best payout.
No, it's plus 337.
Yeah, we got to do one more toast. One more.
Padres, Dodgers, Giants.
Padres, money line. Dodgers, money line. Giants, money line.
Astros, I guess, since you guys like them.
I wouldn't say I like them, but we'll put them in there. Last leg. Let's do it up. Padres off to a heavy start here. Oh, yeah. You know what? Padres might be good because they're heavy favorites and it'll juice it up a bit. If the Astros won this poll, the parlay would have got out of control. This is Padres by a landslide. We can cut it off here. 64%. Let's cut it.
Plus 487.
Wow.
That's not bad.
All right. Another kind of cheap one, but you know what? Let's stay hot. Community parlay. Brave. Ooh, I got to put Padres in there. Community parlay. Braves money line, Rangers money line, Rays money line, Padres money line, plus 487. I saw 848 people in here, man. You guys are awesome. That was fun.
Thank you guys. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun. Everyone, let's have a great night. Remember to bet responsibly and hit any of the three of us up on Twitter. Toast and Beaver are happy to chop it up with you on. Oh, one last thing. If you're joining the Twitter group chat, I posted on the VIP. We're starting a Twitter group chat where I'm going to post live plays and stuff. Just go to KyleKirms.com and you'll see a post that says Twitter group chat. And it tells you how to join in there. So if you're wanting on that, Toast and Beaver, I'm already adding you guys. Don't worry about it.
I'm sure nobody will be hateful in there.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, we'll do our best to keep it civil. But yeah, so that's on KyleKirms.com. It's called Twitter group chat. You'll see it. VIP picks are posted up. Only 2 top bets, but what I did was I had 2 top bets, and then below I had a section called almost top bets, and there's 2 more. So technically there's 4 top bets. There's 2 on top, 2 on the bottom. All right.
Hey, really quickly, I've gotten 3 DMs with the same question, and I can't answer it. Beaver, where's the double result on DK? Can you walk us through that really quickly?
Yes, sir, I can. So let's go to DK real quick.
On Caesars, it's under parlays, like quick parlays, I think.
Yeah, so for draft...
I just thought it was fun. I literally have 3 messages that says, where's double result? Must be blind. Where's the double result?
So for this, you're going to go on DraftKings. You're going to go to the last section, and it's going to say game parlays. And then you're going to scroll past money line / total. You're going to scroll past run line / total. And the third section will be first 5 innings / money line. So I'm looking at the Braves game right now. If you wanted to bet the Braves double result, it would be a plus 110. This means that not only does the team have to cover the first 5 run line, not just tie, they have to cover the first 5 run line, but they have to win the full game. I just think that's the best way to reduce juice on these big favorites.
Correct. All right. That's it. Talk to you guys soon. I think me and Toast will be back tomorrow morning. Proppy usually doesn't do the Saturday morning one, so
I will not be back. I'll be back next week, guys.
So tomorrow morning, 11 a.m. See you then.